Hello loyal subjects, how are you today? Today I have for you another book haul. Wow. I've got quite a few books to show you, so I'm just going to jump right in. The first book I have here is Silverthorn by Raymond E. Feist. This is the next book in the Rift War cycle, the sequel to Magician. I just read Magician this month, so I'm ready to hop on to this next book. It's a lot smaller than Magician, so I'm thinking I'm gonna fly through this one a lot quicker. Next, I got a book that I just saw in the shops. It was cheap. I'd heard some good things about it, so I just decided to get it. And that is The Disreputable History of Frankie Landau-Banks by E. Lockhart. I have read We Were Liars by E. Lockhart and I liked that, but I've read the synopsis for this one and it just sounds like my kind of thing. So it follows this girl named Frankie Landau-Banks as she goes through ages 14 through 16, and at first she starts off as kind of a good girl, then she becomes a bit more rebellious, and her boyfriend is in some kind of secret all-male club and she's trying to break into it, or something along those lines. It sounds really funny and really good, and it was cheap, so I got it. Next, I got Carry Me Like Water by Benjamin Alire-Sáenz. I'm slowly collecting all of his books because I'm really afraid that they're just gonna suddenly all just go out of print, like some of his other books have. So I got this one, and it's a lot heavier than it looks. I'm not too sure what it's about. I think it's these different friends and family members who all live in El Paso, surprise, surprise, and just about their lives. They're in like different social standings, careers, that kind of thing, and I'm guessing it's going to be really good because it's Benjamin Alire-Sáenz. Next, I got the two books remaining to complete my Patrick Ness bibliography, and that is Topics About Which I Know Nothing and A Monster Calls. Now, this, along with The Crash of Hennington, seems to be a book that nobody knows actually exists. From what I can gather, it's a short story collection about a bunch of weird fables like Jesus's double-jointed elbows, Amazons from the Isle of Man, school children on a murderous archaeological dig. You know, it sounds like a good time. This one, on the other hand, sounds a lot sadder. It's about this boy named Connor whose mother has cancer. So he's really sad a lot of the time, and I'm pretty sure he gets bullied a lot at school. Then one night a monster comes and visits him at his window. And not only is this book full of these stunning black and white inky illustrations, but this has been auctioned to be made into a movie. They've got a cast and everything, and hopefully, if this is successful as a movie, then they'll make maybe some of his other books into movies. Wink wink, Chaos Walking. Next, I have Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas in the cool new hardcover edition to match the rest of the books. Buckle your seatbelts because there is a story with this. So, you might remember that originally I bought Throne of Glass and a few of the other books in the series in paperback, but then I decided that I wanted to collect them all in hardcover, so I gave them to my school's library and I ordered the new hardcover edition off the book depository. Of course, that came and it was one of those weird, shorter library editions. And that was not what I wanted. So I ended up giving that to my sister. I went on the Barnes & Noble website and I found this. And I made sure that it had the cover I wanted and it wasn't a library edition. I ordered it around the end of November. A month later, the book still hasn't come. And I know that international orders from Barnes & Noble usually take like 2 to 3 weeks, but it's been a month. So I emailed them and I'm like, hey, my book isn't here, what up? And they tell me, it's the Christmas time, it gets a bit slow around this time, so you know, just like give it another 2 weeks, and if it still hasn't come, then call your local post office. So I'm like, okay, fine. It's not like I'm in a complete rush to get this or anything. So I wait. The 2 weeks passed. It's the new year. And I call my local post office. They don't have anything for me from Barnes & Noble. So I email them again and I'm like, hey, it's not here. So they're like, oh, we're dreadfully sorry. Here's a full refund of the book. And if you want to order it again, go ahead. So I get my money back and I go to order it again because, like, what else can you do? They're the only people that I know that sell the edition that I want. So I want to buy it again. But the first time I got it, I used one of those coupons to get like 15% off. So I'm like, hey, I used this coupon, can I like get a recharge on that or something? But they're like, nah, we don't refund coupons. Sorry. So I get the book without the coupon for the second time. I get the book again without the coupon for the third time. Fourth, if you include the paperback. And I paid like $30 for this thing. It's here. It's behind us. We're moving on. Next, following in theme with my Mortal Instruments hardcover box set, I got the Infernal Devices hardcover box set. Oh, I've seen them on people's channels and I always thought they looked pretty, but it just doesn't do it justice until you see it in person. Oh yeah. Oh, I'm gonna have fun rereading these things. Next, I have some graphic novels that I would like to show you. First, I got Volume 9 of Attack on Titan. I've already read this. It was bombing. So good. It was so creepy. I'll talk more about it in my wrap-up. Next, I got the 2 books that I haven't yet got by Brian Lee O'Malley, who is the author-artist of Scott Pilgrim, and that is Lost at Sea and Seconds. I had been eyeing Seconds ever since it came out, but I only just bought it. I don't know why I waited so long, but I did. And oh my god, it just looks so good. Full colour illustrations, which is something you don't see every day. It's hardcover. I'm loving the design on the front and the back. The story sounds cool. It's about this woman named Katie who's the head chef at this restaurant and she wants to open up a new restaurant, but then things don't really go the way she wanted them to. But then she gets these magical mushrooms, and if you eat one and write down your mistake, you can go back in time and do it over. And I'm guessing that this follows one of those, oh, the past will catch up to you eventually type things, so I'm looking forward to this. Lost at Sea, I've already read. It's Brian Lee O'Malley's first book, and it's a lot different to his other things. It's still got the same cool illustration style that he has, but it's a lot sadder in tone. It's about this girl named Riley who thinks that a cat has stolen her soul. It deals with like depression and that wondering stage when you've just graduated high school and you don't know what you're doing. It was pretty good. I liked it. Next up, I have a bit of an impulse buy. That's In Real Life by Cory Doctorow and Jen Wang. I've seen this on a few people's channels hauling it and whatnot, and it looked really good, so I just got it. It's about this girl who plays this online roleplay video game, and there she meets this other girl who's doing some illegal activities, and she knows that this is against the rules, but this is her friend, so does she turn her in or not? And it only complicates things more when she finds out that this girl is from a really poor place in China. So it looks really cool. The illustrations, full colour again. Next I have The Sleeper and the Spindle by Neil Gaiman, illustrated by Chris Riddell. Now this book was a present from my sister, bit of a late Christmas present, and I'm so glad that I have this. I've been eyeing it up for a while. For starters, it's beautiful. Like, look at the cover. That looks nice on its own, right? Then you take off the dust jacket and you've got this underneath. This beautiful pen illustration, black and white. Oh, the cross-hatching and the design. oh, it's so pretty, so pretty. So you've got matching illustrations all throughout the book. It's a kind of a mix between Snow White and Sleeping Beauty, to my understanding, except in this one it's the princess who takes up a sword and she has like her band of dwarves helping her, and she's going off to save the other sleeping princess and the rest of the kingdom. So that sounds pretty cool. Next I have here Sin City Volume 1, The Hard Goodbye by Frank Miller. I got this purely because it was on a discount and I'd seen some people talk about it before. I'm not sure what it's about. I think it's some sort of crime gangster in the style of like noir type thing. But oh my god, that cover is just gorgeous. No words, just this black and white lino print illustration right here. And the artwork inside is great too. We've got all this just black and white, negative and positive type stuff going on here, and it just looks amazing. I honestly don't need to know what the story is if the book looks this pretty. Oh yeah, and one more thing, I almost forgot. I also got Choose Your Own Autobiography by Neil Patrick Harris. This is, of course, Neil Patrick Harris's autobiography, except it's written in a choose your own adventure type format. I read this the day I got it. I read the whole thing and it was just everything that you would expect an autobiography by Neil Patrick Harris to be. It was funny, it was heartfelt, it was clever. Oh, it was so good. He talks about being a child star, he talks about getting roles on Broadway, how he started in How I Met Your Mother, how he deals with being gay, how he met his partner David, and how they went through the surrogacy process. And it's got some pictures in the middle of him and his friends and his partner and all that. And oh my god, I feel so much more connected to Neil now that I've read his story. And I'm just gonna follow that man forever. He's hosting the Oscars this year, which is great. He's done the Emmys and the Tonys, but not the Oscars. Moving up in the hosting business. So that's all I have to show for you guys today. I will see you next time. Goodbye.